Hi there, my name is Steve Snapp. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Salesforce for Building Materials. In this episode, we're going to talk about the lunch and learn capability of Salesforce for Building Materials. And in all our videos, we like to start with a really clear understanding or description of the problem that we were trying to solve. So in this case, we were trying to solve this idea of how do you manage who you have scheduled for lunch and learns, who you've actually performed lunch and learns for, and not only manage the details of just getting everybody in the right room and sharing those details with them, but also how do we actually use this tool to advance your strategic objectives of making sure that you maintain the right relationship with architects and engineering firms that are involved in specifying your product. Before we get started, I want to mention that we have 2 links in the video description you should know about. I'll mention these again at the end of the video if you'd like to keep watching, but I wanted you to know that we've included a link to our pricing video where we share the pricing for Salesforce Construction, and we've also included a link to our guided free trial. The guided free trial will allow you to start using Salesforce Construction immediately in your business while providing a step-by-step learning path. So, first thing I want to do is just click over to the Lunch and Learn tab that we have here. So I'll go ahead and open that up, and that brings up what we call the Lunch and Learn list view. And the Lunch and Learn list view just shows you a list of the lunch and learns that you've performed. Now you can create these lists just for your territory or just for certain types of architects. It's a very flexible feature that you can create that enables you to look at different categories of lunch and learns. In this example, we have a list of all of our lunch and learns and those recent lunch and learns that I've worked on. Now if I drill down into one of these lunch and learns, I'll give you the basic overview of what we're seeing in the Lunch and Learn interface, and then in a following video we'll go into a little bit more detail about how you manage your attendees and the people that are coming. But what you see in this screen is a basic overview of all the details associated with that Lunch and Learn. Now the key element of the Lunch and Learn, we also often call this CEU or continuing education units. The idea is what group of people did we perform the training with? What subject were we covering? If it has a certification number, let's say an AIA number, how does that get captured? And then in the following video, we'll talk about how you distribute the certification and just manage the, I guess you call it the paperwork process of not only giving those attendees their certificate, but also pushing that information to the governing body like AIA in this case. So you can see here we've got this Lunch and Learn linked to the account. This is actually the architectural firm or the engineering firm that we'd be attending or performing this with, who the presenter is. So if you have different educational presenters that you use that might be different than, let's say, the sales rep, then you'd obviously identify the presenter there. If the presenter is the account executive, it'd obviously be their name. If there's a coordinator involved in making sure that the right people are there and the food is ordered and all those kinds of things, you'd list that there. And then there's just other details that we'll get into in our following video about when do we send the follow-up emails, when do we confirm, etc. So you can see here that in the Lunch and Learn details, we have the information about the Lunch and Learn, but we also have some other things around the status. So I went into edit mode here, and this is where we actually capture the flow of the Lunch and Learn. You know, are we in planning? Has it been scheduled? Have we actually performed or delivered this? Have we sent the certificates, etc.? So this starts to form the essence of a pipeline, if you want to look at it that way, that enables you to manage those key details associated with the Lunch and Learn. Finally, you have the date and time and the influencer, etc. So you got some details associated with what you're performing. Now you'll also notice there's a certificate number that will apply to the training class as well as if it was a physical or a virtual meeting. In either case, you've got all the details associated with that. Now, as I said a moment ago, what we're going to do in the following video is talk about the Lunch and Learn members. I'll just quickly highlight it here, but this is where we go into detail about who actually came to the event, did they attend, were they scheduled, etc. We'll go into that in more detail. We'll talk about how we actually distribute the certificate to them and how we manage the upload process to AIA. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I know your time is very limited. I've included 2 possible next steps in the video description. These include a link to our pricing video where we share the pricing for Salesforce Construction, and I've also included a link to our guided free trial. The guided free trial will allow you to start using Salesforce Construction immediately in your business while providing a step-by-step learning path.
The guided free trial also introduces what we call the Guaranteed Quick Start, which is several pre-scheduled calls with our team to help make any light configuration changes like pick lists or reports, and also help you migrate any data that you want in your free trial. If you're not ready for those two choices, please spend some time here on our YouTube channel learning more about the specific problems we've solved for Salesforce Construction. Thank you again for some of your time, and we'll see you soon.